Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. This video is going to be my highlights of the Growing Together / Infants Update live stream. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get on into this. So at the beginning, they just did a recap of the new trailer. We had Sim Guru Graham and we had Sim Guru Morgan. So we're gonna take a look at the infant stuff that's coming with the new infants update. Okay, so here they are showing us everything that's coming for free. You see there's whole new cribs that are coming out. We're getting some new lamps, some new baby baskets. And then there's all kinds of stuff. There's like book racks up here. There's these little baskets over here for toys. There's these llamas. There's rugs. There's gonna be these nursery racks so you can put like organized nurseries. So then there's these little end tables right here. Then let's see. These also, yeah, like you saw, these also function as bookshelves. Like I said, there's the new bassinets. And then there's some clutter items, like you've got your baskets with your supplies in it for your baby, your wipes. These do look a little low quality, unfortunately, but they're base game, so it's free. They had different color variants, which was cute. And there's here's all the different rugs that you can get. So, okay, and so right here you see these little rugs or like little play mat things you can get also. Okay, so they're also introducing these new baby gates. They work just like fences, but they wanted to introduce one that looked like a baby gate so you can make like playpens and stuff with it. So we don't actually get a playpen object, but you can put infants and toddlers in there. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so here you'll see that we got we're getting new cribs. There's some travel cribs up here. You can actually drag those and put them in your inventory, and you can set them up in public and stuff so your infants can take a nap. I don't know if they work for toddlers. I might have missed that part of it. I don't remember. Okay, so then there's these, and they all match the sets that are in base game already, so you can actually complete nurseries. Like these right here, they match the toy boxes and things like that. Then we got some new ones here, and then we've got some new examples of them there, and then some of them. Okay, so this one right here, this is what I was gonna say a minute ago. This crib right here, the ones in this row right here, they can be upgraded and converted into these toddler beds right here. See, they're gonna show it right now. See, so you can convert them from a crib to a toddler bed for $50. So they're having a new interaction come out. So for storytelling purposes and things like that, it's called Have a Science Baby. So it's kind of like having a surrogate or having like a donor. And then you can go in and you can choose to have a science baby with any other sim. You can do it with somebody who you're just friends with. You can do it with just about anybody. And then they just go off the lot and then they disappear and they come back with the baby. Yeah, in the new bassinet. The babies, if you can tell, they got a little bit of an update. Their skin tones are a little different. They have skin tones now of every skin tone. And now they will genetically have their parents' eyes. So there's that. And then they changed a little bit about their appearance, the way they move, the way they interact with other sims. They've gotten more interactions. They've changed some of the interactions with the newborns. And they're meant to represent like the first few days of life. Oh yeah, another important update. They went through and they smoothed out newborn process. So like now, instead of every time you click on a baby in a crib to do something, you click on it and your sim would do it, put them down, then to go on to the next interaction. They've changed it. If you look right here behind me, they fluently do it. They don't put the baby down in the crib. They continually work on the interactions instead of doing them one at a time. And newborns apparently will react to being outside and things like that. So you can drag the cribs outside, and that's how you can take them outside and things like that. So there's been some updates to the babies, the newborns. They updated the show off interaction as well. It's easier to complete now. And children and toddlers got new interactions. You can entertain them and play with them, and it grows their relationship. Yes, they shortened how long a newborn they shortened how long it takes for a newborn to age up into an infant. But they made the infant stage and the rest of the life stages longer to enjoy the fact of having children and all that jazz. So you actually can spend more time getting to know your sims and actually interacting with them and getting like building memories and building things like that. So, okay, so now when the newborns age up into infants, they can actually get a trait. And they have cautious, they have sensitive, calm, intense, wiggly, and sunny. Sunny sims will burst out into smiles and they're giggly and they love social interaction. Intense sims will have big emotions, are really easily entertained, but they are also more difficult to calm down when they're in a bad mood. And so they're gonna be a lot more deal with, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my 100 baby challenge at this point. And then like cautious Sims appreciate the familiar, but are slow to warm up to new experiences. And that interties into the new baby food that we got, or that we're getting with the update. They'll try different baby foods. You can give them different ones. They can like it. They may not like it. They may start to like it over time. And so here's part of the new interaction of them aging up. They kind of float down on a little cloud and they're new little infants. Infants can be fully customized and create a sim. They have little helmets for shaping their heads. You can put glasses on them. They have hair. You can put different hairs on them. There's a bunch of different hairs that are coming, and there's a bunch of new baby clothes that are coming as well. There's a bunch of new outfits. There's a bunch of swatches that are coming. This is all base game, by the way, and they really put in a lot with these, and I really like what they did with them. It looks like they're going to be really in depth, and they've changed a lot of what the babies or the infants actually can do, and it's really interesting to me that they've updated so much of them. And then the teeth, yes. Okay, so they have like these stork bite things that they can get at birth, but they go away as they get older, like stork bites do in real life. They have other birthmarks that they get that they'll carry on through different life stages as well. They have new hats and stuff as well. They have new diapers. Here's the diapers. There's several different swatches for those. Little babies turn over, see their little booties, see the diapers. What else was there? It gives you a lot of different options for different things, and they have some like outfits, and like you can give them different like weather outfits as well. And then like they said, they added the baby helmets. The aviator one is super cute. There's more freckles, there's more moles, there's stretch marks, there's and a C-section scar that's coming with the update. There's like, you can see them, a lot of them here. There's tons of them. You can stretch marks on the back, the sides, the arms, legs, kind of thing. There's tons of them coming with the base game update, and it makes the Sims do look a lot more realistic with these new updates. Oh, and then there's another update coming that can the sim produce milk as well, that is coming to the gender options in the game. Infants, it should be noted, infants have all the same needs as regular Sims. You can give them baths, you can like clean them up, change them, all that stuff that you can do basically with toddlers. It's just a little bit more in depth, I think, than with toddlers, and more needed or more common, I'm sure. Oh yeah, here's another thing. Infants, and they can, depending on how they're taken care of, if they're left crying and stuff, they can be more cautious as they grow up and harder to soothe when they cry. If they're taken care of quickly and well, then they'll grow up and they won't be as upset when they're crying because they know somebody's coming to take care of them, versus a baby that was left to cry, they will, and then they'll develop moods to let you know how they're cared for and let you know how they're feeling, and then so you can judge whether or not you're doing a good job of making them feel taken care of and feel secure. So here's the new thing with the baby's first baby food. I'm gonna put a photo of it on the screen if I remember as well, so you maybe can see it a little better. I don't know if you can see it as well on here. There's different kinds you can try it. It says never tried, and so on, so you know if you've given it to your baby. So basically when they grow up, they can grow up with three, they can build attachment and they can not build attachment. So if they grow up with attachment, then they will trust people more, and they're more likely to get to know Sims quicker and things like that. And then there's unhappy infant, which is the other end of the skeptical, which will make them unhappy and untrusting of people. When the babies try new baby foods, they'll either like it, dislike it, or love it, and it kind of depends on their mood and their traits and so on like that. There was a quality of life update to the high chairs, so now Sims won't constantly try to take kids out of high chairs, infants out of high chairs. They actually left this child in this high chair for most of the live stream, and nobody bothered it. It was in there the entire time. It was crazy. I kept looking at it going, oh my god, nobody's taking that chair or that kid out of the high chair yet. And there's also a new thing now where you can change breastfeeding options. You can either put it where they prefer breastfeeding or they prefer bottle feeding, and then your Sims will autonomously do that one instead of just bottle feeding every time. There's new interactions between all the Sims of the age groups, and one of the new ones for the toddlers and the kids is Peekaboo. They're getting ready to play it right now. It's super cute to watch them play it. This little Sim in particular, she's cautious infant. She didn't like it. It scared her. She was not about that life. This is a new crib. It comes with a mobile on it. You can upgrade it to do that. It'll also play music, so you can upgrade it to play music and have that mobile. And some Sims, it'll help them go to sleep easier, it'll help them fall asleep quieter or quicker, and it will help them if they wake up and things like that. So that's different upgrades you can do to the cribs along the way, and it'll help with how well you can, or how quickly your infants fall asleep. They also said that there's a bunch of cross-pack compatibility, like for instance with cats and dogs. Infants will be able to interact with cats and dogs, and they didn't really go into detail about what cross-compatibility there would be, but they said there would be a lot. So now we're going to move on to covering the Growing Together expansion pack, which this is going to be a lot to cover. This is Sim Guru Doi and Sim Guru Morgan. They're here to talk about the new growing pack. Sim Guru Doi was the head producer on Growing Together. So here they started showing some creative sim items. Some of them look really good. I'm really excited about them. And they really, what he's talking about here, and you should try to watch it, is he's talking about they really sat down and they looked at how families interact and what they, how they interact with each other and the things they go through and how that builds relationships over time. And they really wanted to put more depth to that and make it more nuanced and more, I don't know, where it makes more sense and where it actually is noticeable that a family is a family. All relationships all across the game, they decided to make more meaningful. I'm not going to cover the creative sim because they kind of just went through it like this. They didn't actually like break it down, and it was kind of, he was talking, it was hard to focus on both things. I'm sure people will have videos. I might do one myself when it actually comes out, but a lot of this stuff that come with it looks really like kind of down to earth, like everyday stuff that you can use on a lot of different sims, and I think we've really needed that. And it looked like the male sims got a lot of stuff this time, which we don't normally get, and I think we really needed. And see, the way they designed this is to where the sims you can set it up with the dynamics and things like that to where they can actually, you can set up stories or you can have stories that evolve along the way, and that's what this is all about. And then they are going to go into really good depth about it. And here they're just talking about their favorite things. There's some of the new moles and freckles that you'll see that we're going to get in this pack. Here's the friendship bracelets and necklaces. There's some you can actually make and give to people. Here's some of the new hairs. Okay, so what they're talking about here is you can set dynamics between two different family members, and you can influence kind of how things go, and it influences what they do together. So like if you have two family members that are setters, jokesters, those two will autonomously tell jokes to each other. They'll do funny interactions and they'll do things like that. If they're distant, they'll avoid each other. They won't talk to each other. Or if they do talk to each other and they're distant or they're difficult, they will get a tense moodlet from talking to that person. That probably won't go away till they stop talking to them. And then dynamics can also be discovered throughout gameplay, like how you interact with different sims. The dynamics will last if you have a sim, like for instance, if I have a 100 baby challenge sim that has a close dynamic with one of her kids, once that kid moves out and moves into another neighborhood, they will keep that dynamic going on. So if they're close, they may come visit more often, but if they're distant, they may not call or show up at all. Or if, just depending on what the dynamic is how they'll come around and interact with you based on that. They can also be removed via a dynamics changing potion that you can buy in the reward store. So if you don't like the family dynamic and you can't get it to go away or get it to change over time, you buy that potion and you can actually change the dynamic like that. I'm sure there'll also be a cheat code discovered for it, or probably UI extensions will update to cover that, I'm sure. Okay, so with likes and dislikes for this new pack, we got two new categories: Sims characteristics and conversation topics. So we got a new music genre, which is going to be the soul music. They've updated a lot of the likes to include a lot of things that were from old things, and now coming to base game, we have an update to likes and dislikes of 50. So you could use 50 dislikes and likes and dislikes for your sim, or you can do like half and then develop half over time. Okay, so then they have these different archetypes like here through Sims characteristics. So if an optimistic sim, a romantic enthusiastic sim, a spirited sim, a rascal sim, nature, idealistic, homebody sims. These are likes and dislikes. And the romantic ones, they've already stated will not work for child, infants, none of those. They don't have those. Those are only for teens and higher, and they don't go with they're young adult and higher, sorry. So none of the romance ones work with teens and kids. So automatically, the compatibility is platonic. So you can have compatibility with anybody, and that's what I was saying about, but it doesn't, like I said, the romantic ones don't affect the children and vice versa. You know what I mean? So here's another example of that. We have an ambitionless sim, an argumentative sim, a cerebral sim, an egotistical sim, and I just realized I'm covering that. Oh well. We have an emotional decision maker. We have family motivated sims. So then basically when you like or dislike one of these categories, going forward, anytime you meet another sim, the game will automatically go in and see and judge whether or not the sim has those likes and dislikes, and based on that, it'll be harder or easier for you to get to know them or talk to them and do things with them. And each one of these descriptions, they talk about what ties into those, so you can pick traits that will help you along the way for those. So like here's a good one. For instance, homebody sims that prefer to stay home and pursue more calm, laid back endeavors rather than a loud party. They tend to prefer cozy night spent cooking, crafting, gaming, or reading at home. Liking homebody sims means other sims with traits like loner, bookworm, or clumsy will gain more or some compatibility with your sims. However, traits like active or loves outdoors will lower their compatibility with your sim. One of the developers on this particular, the social interaction thing, she was saying that for people not to be afraid to like a bunch of them, because it'll help you have a way different dynamic with a lot of different Sims, or have different dynamics with different Sims and likes and different, you know, like different compatibilities and instant likes and instant dislikes. And that's the other thing too. Sims will not accept interactions from in categories that they don't like. So like if they don't like arguments, they won't have anything to do with it. If they don't like compliments, they won't have nothing to do with it. If they don't like deep thought kind of conversations, they won't have nothing to do with it. Make it a lot harder to get to know people, especially for like the 100 baby challenge. So like here's a good example. Ron loves gossip. So if you've got some gossip, Ron's always about the gossip. Okay, so here what we're going to talk about is, for the first time since base game, kids are getting 4 new aspirations. You won't really see them underneath my head. Sorry, I'm not moving it. It's multi-skill. There's slumber party animal, playtime captain, creative genius, and mind and body. And the thing is these are different kind of aspirations. They are going to cover skills that go over. You're essentially doubling the number of aspirations that you have, because they have different skills that go with them, and they'll cover a different range of skills to complete that aspiration. Not like just working out or just doing this. You'll have to do other things just to complete that aspiration. So it sounds like it's a combination of some of the other ones, but it still gives you more diversity on your Sims and have them be different and have them have more personality and stuff. So you may have just seen, and I'll put a picture of it on the screen right now, there's the new icon for San Sequoia. Here is the new map for San Sequoia. I think it's a good look. We'll take a good look at it. There's only 4 lots per neighborhood. You'll see over on that side, that is Gilbert Gardens. That is the rec center and all that stuff. Down here by me is Hopewell Hills. They put the Michelsons on the only big lot, which means they're going to get evicted by everybody, but that's whatever. It looks like a cute neighborhood. Looks like there's a lot to do there. And this one up here above me is something Wharf, Anchor Wharf, I believe is what it's called, and it's more of the downtown area. Okay, here you can kind of get a look of Hopewell Hill. There's a playground area. You can see the tree house. You can see some of the new stuff. And they modeled this after the San Francisco area, and they did each neighborhood so they could have a different feel, but they all feel like they fit into the same area. And I think I like that. Okay, so here's a funny one. So they're talking about the lack of San Sequoia, having San Sequoia tree or sequoia trees, and apparently the design team has given Doi given him crap about having neighborhoods named after stuff and then having the stuff not being in the world. And so they made a joke about it here with an old stumpy tree. And that's part of the lore, is there are no more San Sequoia trees because of somebody who used to live in the world. So here they talked about, you can go down to the boat ramp, you can walk out there and take photos. Here's the Michelsons lot. They're getting evicted by me. They didn't give us lot sizes, which I think is unfortunate. Here's another lot in the town. And then there's a empty lot as well. None of them are very big. It's very unfortunate. My thing is if you're only going to give us 4 lots per neighborhood and you say that we can only have these many lots for performance, at least make the lot big. Like make this whole area over here, that whole area right there, just make that whole area a lot. And then we can delete the trees if we use the lot and we don't use the lot. I mean, I know that it says for performance issues, but it's like, give us lots that are big if you're not going to give us that many of them. Okay, so here they're talking about the new icon for the compatibility, and that comes with growing together, so you can see like if your Sims are compatible or not based on like little puzzle pieces. It also tells you in the description, amazing compatibility, like 2 perfect people, blah 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 blah. It's a nice way to be able to get a look at it very quickly, I think, and I think they did a good job with integrating the UI into the game with the new stuff. Yeah, and then that's the thing. When they have good compatibility, this is what they're covering here. Sims will have a lot easier time getting to know each other and becoming friends. If they don't have good compatibility, you're gonna have to work on it. They're getting ready to cover the new organization for the pie menu. I'm gonna put a picture of it on the screen. They talked about it for a long time, but basically what it boils down to is they're putting things in categories that make sense, and they're gonna put it in categories where it makes sense. So like you can see, oh good, I'm not completely covering it up. We get some new icons here, like their hobbies, the gossip, deep thoughts. Basically, the gurus even said in the live stream that they love the way the new layout works, and once you get used to it, it's amazing. It's a lot easier to use, and now they find it hard to play without it when they go home and play in the regular games. So what they're talking about here is they've added a lot of new ways for different age groups to interact, and depending on like their relationship and the relationship dynamic they have, they'll interact different ways. One thing I didn't notice that they covered is the favorite grandchild thing, which I'm surprised they didn't cover that. Look, the toddler's still in the chair. Isn't it amazing? So here it is. This is where they're talking about it. So basically, I'm guessing something happened and the grandmother, we didn't see it because it was off screen, but basically the grandmother and the child had interaction. There was a negativity to it, and now it's saying there's a new family dynamic possible that she she is a strict family member. And that basically for family members with a strict family dynamic, the older Sims will ask the younger Sims to do things like cleaning more, and the younger Sims will generally avoid rebelling, though they might get more stressed overall. It's really going to change the way the game plays. I really think this pack is really what the Sims game needed. So what she was just saying there is they've also went in and changed the way that Sims of different ages interact based on like the multipliers of how an interaction works with them, or how something you say affects that Sim. It may affect younger Sims more than it affects older Sims, or vice versa. And then you gain relationships differently based on their age. Okay, so basically children will gain access or gain relationship with children quicker than they will teens, and teens will gain relationship quicker than other teens. Children might gain relationship quicker with the young adult versus an elder. So what they're talking about here, this is a new pop-up that's coming with Growing Together, and it says, hey bro, it's me, your boy Kyle. And basically what it is an NPC that can come stay and hang out at your house. You can say yes, you can say no, and when he gets there, he'll help you out and do things. Basically what they're talking about here is they're talking about the new stay with feature, and it's cool. Basically, you can just call up a Sim and you can say, hey, I want you to come stay with me. Come stay with me for like the next 6 days. You can choose like 1 to 6 days. You can choose people from different households. It doesn't even have to be the same household. You can choose family members of one household. You can choose, different people. So you can invite people to come stay with you. And I really think it'll be great because it'll work well with the new events we're getting. And part of it is, so I'll let it play while we're talking. The suitcase, you can actually open it, you can put stuff in it, you can take it in your inventory, you can use it for traveling. There's a specific one, this one right here is a specific one that people bring with them when they're coming to stay with you. But then there's another variant of it that you can use and take on vacation. It essentially works like a dresser. So here they're talking about the stay over thing. This is showing that Kyle is staying here for 6 days. It gives you right behind my head. It's got Kyle's picture. You're not missing anything there. You can't change it once a Sim's there. You can only cancel it, but you can change the details of it before you actually invite that Sim over. Kyle has some special interactions that come with him. Kyle can also give you San Sequoia secrets and tell you about the town and the lore and all that jazz. This toddler's still in the high chair, by the way, guys. It's insane. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the things that come with newborns. With the update is you can change the different outfits, like I said earlier, and there's a lot of different things you could do with them. Something to note that they added into with the newborns is they've added in temperaments, so not every newborn is going to be the same going forward like they were in the past. So toddlers can develop quirks over time, like aggressive. I can't remember exactly which ones. I don't think they tell us exactly which ones they can develop, but some of them are going to be some of them are going to be off. There's 18 different ones. They don't describe which ones. 18 for toddlers and 18 for infants. So that's a huge update. This update is the update that the Sims game has needed. I feel like this update in this pack is exactly what the Sims game has needed for years. So here's a good one. Here's a quirk that one of the infants has, is loves being held. So while he's being held, he gets a moodlet that you can see right below me. It says love being held from snuggled up. But then when they put him down, since he loves to be held, he gets an angry moodlet because he was put down. How dare you put me down? The warmth and comfort is absent, and now it feels like the end of the world for an hour. And he's gonna cry. And what he was saying there is basically you can have 2 different twin toddlers you can give like the same person, the same traits to or whatever, but as they develop quirks and stuff, they will feel like different kids because they will actually develop differently. And they actually and look, they actually saved the infant and took it outside during a fire. And they included cheats to where you can remove quirks and add quirks, so they're not permanent. You can shift click on them and get rid of them, so you're not tied to just having those all the time. So here are some of the infants quirks milestones, like rolling over, sitting up, having a visitor. And the milestones are basically the memories of the Sims 4. So milestones basically track how your Sims grow up, and the cool thing is as your Sims are aging up out of cribs and stuff now, they will go over and take pictures of them and actually pay attention to them now, instead of just, oh, my baby's aging up, I'm just gonna walk out of the damn room. And my milestones can actually indicate what'll be next for your Sim, like are they gonna crawl, are they gonna roll over, are they gonna sit up, and things like that. So this is the new UI. I'll go ahead and just talk about this because they are so long-winded about it. There is if a sim is created from childhood, you can click up here, you can click the different ones, and you can go back and look at milestones and that they've gotten over the years, like first getting married and things like that. And so basically after infancy, milestones won't be about like motor skills and things like that. They'll be about like important things that happen to you, important events in your life. Like from one here, first bladder failure, first fire, first promotion, life, lost job, aged up, maybe maxed out a skill, I'm guessing, promotion. So here we're going to talk about midlife crisis. So midlife crises are temporary. You can work on them as you go. They don't have to be done. You can just let your sim suffer through it. But there's actually different sets of skills that you can do for midlife crises. They come with different things. They have a thing where you can have a work rival. It can prevent you from getting promoted. You can do things to take care of your work rival. There are several different tasks for a midlife crisis. So like right here, Ron's going through a midlife crisis. So he wants to work on a steampunk fly-a-majig for 5 hours. Don't know what that is. 5 times. Hunt for treasures. He wants to travel to different lots. He wants to take an outdoor nap. And so basically, if you actually work on the goals of a midlife crisis, the midlife crisis will last longer. If you don't work on them, then it takes longer for your sim to get through it. And they didn't exactly go into complete detail about that, but it's going to affect the way your sim lives their everyday life. So here's where they talk about the workplace rival. Bella Goth is his workplace rival. You can like basically buddy up with your workplace rival to try to make things better. You can work harder while you're at work. There'll be some new pop-ups down at the bottom while your sim's gone off lot that you can choose different things, or you can straight up just off your rival. And then you don't have to worry about it. No rival, no problems. So basically for the adults, when they went through on the adult stage on this, they went through and added things for adults that makes adult life more interesting and more things that they have to overcome and more events that are more you have to survive and live through kind of thing. And there's a burnout system. Like if you're doing too much of one thing, they would want to focus on something else. So like if you're grinding on trying to up your skills, your sim will get burnout and won't want to do it anymore and won't learn anything. So you'll have to move on and do something else. And it's going to make things a lot harder. And then there's things like you can get laid off more. You can get fired. If you're going to get laid off, you can try to work harder to prevent yourself from getting laid off. Okay, so the confidence level, this is something new that kids are going to have. Kids are going to have a confidence level all throughout childhood. And I think it's all throughout childhood. So from Sims high confident has learned to believe in themselves. And this will affect a Sim's confidence level can increase or decrease depending on skill gain, school performance, positive and negative interactions, or socialization, succeeding or failing in skill-based activities, confident or embarrassed moods, and more. Caregivers criticizing or praising a child. And that's a new thing. It's kind of like a parenthood thing in a way, which I don't know if anybody else is going to say anything about that, but I thought that during the live stream. So you can criticize or praise them for doing things and it'll affect their confidence level. And so basically if they have low confidence or high confidence, it actually affects the sim self-esteem and it will carry on. It will affect them through the rest of their lives. We did get neutral swatches of the standing piano. We have a standing piano now, 4 slots instead of 6. Hallelujah. So basically what they're going to discuss here, and I'm going to skip ahead because they're playing with the piano. I want to get a shot of it on the screen. Hold on. So basically what she's saying here is now they've rejigged the kids' skill tree. And now as your kids work on skills, instead of just not having that skill anymore when they age up, it will carry on through their life. So if they work on piano and creative, and they'll keep the piano skill as they age up. So when they're a teen, they'll already be decent at piano, like it should be. But they will gain that skill at a lower pace than an adult would gain it, but they'll still gain it. So that's crazy. And so basically what they've done now is everything you do as a child actually does make a difference and it matters and it has a purpose and it will carry on further out through life into what your sim becomes and how they act as an adult. So this is where they're talking about the treehouse. The treehouses, they work like the rocket ship and base game. You can work on it together. Everybody gains skills from it. And other sims work on it with you and they'll like take little breaks and they'll talk about it and stuff. So what they're saying up here, you can upgrade in it, you can pretend in it, you can go sleep in the enclosure, parents can woohoo in it, there's different directions or decorations that can go on it. Different things slot onto it, but you can search for things to put on it. So I mean it's very interactable and it doesn't look like it's super huge, which is nice. See, so here they're showing like you can slot things onto it, you can search it in debug. There's all kind, you can put plants and stuff up there. Like I mean the tree houses are a lot. I think they might actually be better than what they were in The Sims 3. I'm just being honest. So the tree house is definitely, you can take things off of it, you can use the telescope on it. The tree houses are amazing. amazing. So here they talk about the kids' bicycles, and the kids' bicycles, they actually do have to learn how to ride them. You can't just get on it. They actually have to learn how to ride it. So it's kind of cool. You're going to see it here. They kind of teeter around on it and they learn how to ride it, and you can teach them, or you can just, they can learn on their own, and it works on their motor skill and it actually develops a skill. So I thought that was pretty cool. And depending on which bike you buy, the kids' bikes all have different configurations. You can change the horn, you can change the paint on it. They're upgradable, they're customizable. They're going to show the Sim pulling out her tooth, and then they're going to show that Ron sabotaged his work rival, and he can also he can befriend them. You can wiggle it, you can just pull it out. Then they go upstairs and stick it under their pillow, and they get money for it when they wake up. They did not show, there's no NPC Tooth Fairy that comes along. As you'll see right here, she just climbs up into bed, she goes to sleep. When she wakes up, she gets money. I mean, that's kind of disappointing, but I'm glad they spent time and effort on other things as opposed, damn, she got $84 for that too. So I'm glad they spent time on other things than just that. And so here's the keepsake box they talk about. An elder can be designated as in charge of the keepsake box. You can drag it and put it in your Sims inventory. You can put things in it. You can put paintings in it. They didn't really show anything like furniture wise. You can name the keepsake box, but they showed them putting like books in it, paintings, things like that. You can entrust the book. You can ponder on family memories or on family members. You can pass the box down. So it's kind of like the family photo album, kind of like the family treasure chest kind of thing. So here, this is a friendship bracelet kit. You can make friendship bracelets. You can only, which I think is silly, you can only trade friendship bracelets with someone. You can make the friendship bracelets on the creativity activity stations, that what they're called, art station. I always forget what those things are called, and they wear off over time and they fall off. So, and if you have another friend, like if you have like a best friend and they see you give a friendship bracelet to somebody else, they could get mad, and then if you get mad at somebody, you can come revoke their friendship bracelet, and it's all dramatic and whatnot. So a quick thing to throw in, I just saw, if you don't have the trash can next to the diaper changing table, when they change the diaper, it'll fall on the floor, so you'll have diapers piling up on the floor. So make sure you get the trash can. I didn't even notice that earlier. Oh look, and the toddlers can try to break out of the playpen, and sometimes they can't be contained and they can get out, which I think that's kind of cool. But I would assume that's not an autonomous thing, or autonomous. Yeah, I think you have to do it yourself. They're showing off the cannons that we saw in the trailer that for the different events. This is where they're going to talk about. So here we go. This is where we're going to talk about the new events. You can have a slumber party event. You can have a baby shower event. You can have a family reunion. And the cool thing about these is you can host them at other lots. You can host them at like the rec center if you need more space, like a campground. The family reunion thing is you can invite people. It's great. You can invite people for the family reunion that aren't necessarily family. You can invite anybody to a family reunion. The family reunion event doesn't mess with the, if you have a guest staying, it doesn't mess with that. So you could have a family, like you have a bunch of family come stay, host a family event, and then invite even more Sims so you can get the whole family there. Yeah, so it's really exciting. Like you can throw the baby showers pretty much anywhere. So here's the thing that I want to talk about. It's awesome. So as the reward for the family reunion event, which I'm sure you can unlock it and build by, you get these frames that hold these photos, and you can make like a collage of your family. They didn't really say these photos how they got them, but you can put them in there. So they didn't really say how they got those photos, the family photos there, but it's pretty cool. So next we're going to talk about the worlds. We're going to talk about Anchor Point Wharf. It is more of the downtown feel. It's got a movie theater. Let's see if we can skip ahead here a little bit. Yeah, let's see. So this is just a preview of the neighborhood. There's the library, and look, new piano players out and about. Okay, so here we go. So here's the movie theater. If you look, there's different. Watch Captain Sigma and Optimus landing together. Watch Critters from the Mojave Desert, The Last Llama. Watch Critters from the Mojave Desert, The Last Llama together. There's different genres of movies. It looks like there's a ton of different movies you can watch. The outside of theater is really cool. The things move around and it lights up. You get different moods depending on if you like the movie or not. It can affect how your date goes depending on if you like the genre of movie that you're watching or not, or how you build a relationship with the people that you're there, or how it affects, you know, your relationship gains while you're in the movie, if you like the movie or not. And like I said, depending on if they don't like children, they won't like children's movies, so on and so forth. If they like romance, they might like Pride and Prejudice. If you hover over to tell you this is a romance movie, it's a kid's movie, blah 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 blah. Really cool, love it. And here's the thing, I am not bothered by the fact that this is a rabbit hole because they wouldn't have sit still anyway for it, and what, you're just gonna sit there and watch the movie. So I'm cool with this. I want more interactive things like this for them to do in the world. I think this is a great addition. Also to note, they said that there's some epic things that can happen while you're in the theater, and here's a good view of that area down by the bay. I love this area already. I think I want to live there. I don't know for sure yet, but so they had a good date night. They enjoyed the movie. Here's a library. It's really cool. It's got a lot of things for kids to do. It's like a kids library, but I think it's really cute how they made like a kids library. Deli built the library, which I knew she did. We called it a couple weeks or a week ago or wherever the trailer came out. I love all the new shelves that they show. This is not what I'm going over. Listen guys, I can't go over everything. This stream was 2.5 hours long. Oh, this, they have a new public changing table that you can put on lots so you can change infants in public. They made it really to where you can really tote these infants out and about in the world, and I love it. No strollers, unfortunately, but I think it's really awesome that you can take these infants out in the world and actually do stuff with them. I think it's really awesome that they're giving us stuff so we can do that, like portable stroller or portable playpens and things for them to sleep, so you don't have to go home just because you're infant is tired. Okay, so here we're gonna go on and we're gonna talk about the water park a little bit. It isn't still Disney World. You can build water parks anywhere. There's different mats. They didn't really tell us everything about them, but you can build different water parks. You get different interactions with them. Every family member except the infants and the newborns can interact with the splash park. This is the rec center. So basically, a long-winded short version of the rec center. The rec center is meant to be a place where Sims can go and like take art, music classes, work out, hang out. Elders can do puzzles. Basically a rec center. It's pretty much an anything center, and you can get your Sims to go there and do pretty much anything. Just a general purpose lot type. So we're getting 2 new games with this. We're getting Shimbles, which is like, I think like dominoes or mahjong, and then we're getting puzzles. Puzzles you can build from reference. Let's see if I can find it. They're gonna show it. You can build a puzzle from reference, and then I don't know if they showed it. And then you can, once you're done with the puzzle, oh, the little girl came up and stole a puzzle piece. You can go up and return the puzzle piece. It actually shows it missing. But once you're done with the puzzle, you can actually hang it on the wall. And I was trying to find that. I think they showed it already. That's what I started to say a minute ago. Okay, there we go. You can put puzzle frame. There we go. They clicked on it. Yeah, and see, then you can put the puzzle on the wall. So that's pretty cool. So here is where they talk about Gilbert Gardens. Did I miss the world or them showing the actual... Okay, so she's showing the walk interaction. They can go on walks around the park. It's kind of like the jog interaction, but I believe it's just this park that they can do it in. Okay, and so as they go on these walks throughout the neighborhood, is what they were just saying, is they will get like little buffs and moodlets based on where they're at, so they actually know where they're at, and they'll get kind of like, oh, look at that, and oh, that's neat, and things like that. Okay, so now they're talking about this new thing about self-discovery, where over time, if you play a certain way and the way you're playing doesn't really reflect your Sims, like make up their Simology, like their traits and things like that. It'll ask you if you want to change that trait from a slob to being neat, because he's not actually a slob, he's actually a clean guy. And you can accept it or you can deny it. You don't have to let it, or you can keep it the way it is, but it can change, and you can actually develop up to 3 more traits based off of it. And so now your Sims can grow and evolve like they never actually have before. All right, guys. Well, that is it for me for this. It was a 2.5 hour live stream. I don't think I covered everything. I don't even know how long this video is at this point. I don't know how long it's going to be. I've been recording for 48 minutes at this point. I stopped recording halfway through and started recording again just in case the thunder and lightning and all that killed my power. But I'm going to tell you, I'm really excited for this expansion pack. I've seen a couple people that are acting like they're not already, which is everybody's preference. But I think this expansion pack is really going to do a lot for The Sims. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this new update for infants and for the newborns. I think it's really needed. The dynamics between Sims changing in base game, I think, is needed. The growing of the skills from the kids, I think, is needed. So I just think in general, this is what we needed to breathe life back into The Sims 4 and keep it going. If it's going to continue to go on more, I think this pack, everybody's going to want this pack, I think. And they've even said they didn't cover everything, and I think there is more to cover. I think there's more to see. I can't wait. My Growing Up Summers family is coming back with this. So with all that said, I hope this video helped you out. I hope it's not super long. I'm going to try to make it like 35 minutes. We'll see. But for a 2-hour live stream, you never know. But anyway, guys, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ding that bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. And I will talk to you later. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I love you, mean it. Bye.